Hi there, welcome to Media in Society JTC 100 online. This is coming to you from Fort Collins, Colorado, Colorado State University, and the Department of Journalism and Media Communication. My name is Joe Champ. I'm the instructor for this class, and I just wanted to put together a little bit of an introductory video for you, kind of get at some of the logistics of the course. I know everything's on Canvas, but just to say hello and to kind of get our head on straight on what's going to happen during this semester. But before I get to all that, I want to kind of, I don't know, position us a little bit about what's happening with media and technology in our society and to take us to a place that I find to be a little bit unnerving, I guess. And this is something I saw recently, and I see a lot of really crazy things when I'm looking around out there. And this is the talkie toy for very small children by a company called Toy Mail. And so watch this video where they market this toy.
Hi, I'm Gory, and I'm a talkie. Talkies help kids exchange voice messages with their friends and their grown-ups. It's a lot like a tin can telephone, but our messages travel over Wi-Fi, not yarn. Kids have really important things to say, and we make it easy for them to say it. Think it. Wow! Bitsy, turn around so we can show them how we work. It's really simple. You just pick one of your grown-ups, record a message, and then hit send, and that message will go to their phone. Or you can pick another kid, and that message goes to their talkie. I love what I do because I bring people closer together.
Hey, honey, you miss me? Hey, honey, you miss me?
I'm so good at my job, I even get people to hug and to tickle. Our mission is simple, and that's to keep people connected to the people. That's to keep kids connected to the people that matter the most. Yes, I do like candy. It's literally one of my favorite vegetables besides celery.
I like to watch cat videos on YouTube when I need to relax.
This may sound a little peculiar, but I've always wanted to go to the bottom of the ocean and ride it.
So it even has a blooper reel at the end. Talkie toys, the talkie dolls come in 4 characters. There's Bitsy, a bat; Gory, a shark; Abe, a mouse; and Hank, a dino, or dino, I guess. And so I have to admit, when I saw this toy advertised, I thought, this just seems like maybe a bad idea. More on that in a moment. First, it was interesting to read some of the reviews on Amazon.com. The toy has generally been positively received. Someone here says, my 6-year-old absolutely loves this. She talks to her grandparents and us whenever she wants, blah, blah, blah. I got 3 of these for Christmas presents for my nieces and nephew. It took me a while to get all it set up, but it was well worth it. And great toy. Love the functionality and the options. Now, when people seemed negative on Amazon, it was mostly about functionality. My daughter was excited about this, and when I saw it on Shark Tank, unfortunately, it didn't live up to expectations. It never checked the messages on its own, or at least it didn't chime when it received one. Or someone says, terrible product. I've called customer service after about 2 hours and finally got it to sync with my phone, only for it to then say it couldn't send messages, etc. From there, I started to look at reviews by technology experts who do this sort of thing, and they're also quite positive, even celebratory of this toy. One review stated, quote, "The talkies are great for parents who want their young kids to stay in touch without giving them the relatively unfettered experience of having a smartphone. The talkies can only communicate with other talkies or contacts approved by parents when setting up the toy. Parents retain control of the talkie from their app, with the toy only having a few simple buttons for controlling calls and switching through contacts." So let me repeat some of the main ideas of the company that produces it, that is Toy Mail, and that is, these toys bring children closer to their significant others. These toys are said to promote safety. These toys will make children feel better about themselves overall. Interestingly, I could find no negative reviews specifically for this product, this toy. However, I did visit the website for the American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP, and the Academy has not specifically reviewed this toy, but They've said quite a bit about children and the use of communication technology in general. So to get a sense of this, here's one informational video from their site.
Overall media use among adolescents continues to grow. But according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, evidence regarding healthy media use does not support a one-size-fits-all approach.
The first thing that's on their mind in the mornings is the television, and you're just like, no, take some time and breathe.
To help parents determine healthy media guidelines for their children, the American Academy of Pediatrics has developed the online Family Media Use Plan.
The American Academy of Pediatrics Family Media Use Plan will prompt parents and family members to enter information about the ages of their children, and then writes up a customized plan for your family that lets you and your kids determine how you're going to use media in your home.
All right, boys, time to eat dinner. No devices at the table.
Sharita and Jason Worthy have found the Media Plan tool very helpful in planning their 4 sons' screen time.
All right, guys, so what we're looking at is our media plan. 2 different things that I really liked about it. It gave you the option of going in and selecting different options as far as screen time, things like that. When to turn it off, when you would have access to it, when you won't have access to it, and how long. The second thing that I really liked about it was that you can kind of plan out a 24-hour day and set everything up in time blocks so that you can physically see what it is that they're doing throughout the day and how much time they're actually spending on it.
Our job is to help guide parents toward the healthiest possible use of media, to make sure that it's not interfering with sleep, exercise, healthy eating, or face-to-face time with your kids. At the same time, to suggest ways that we might use it to bring family closer together.
I'm Jack Trammell.
So what are the key messages? The American Academy of Pediatrics believes that screen-based communication technology in general can be disruptive to the lives of children and their families. But if that screen time is managed properly, that is, it's used in a balanced way based on the needs of the child, if the child has been educated about screen technology, then it can actually be beneficial. So it's kind of complex. But let's thicken the plot a little bit. A few years back, the AAP was releasing the results of research into long-term health effects of exposure to Wi-Fi enabled technology, especially cell phones, particularly amongst babies and young children who are developing and are more vulnerable than adults. The concern is that their little bodies may be more easily damaged, which makes sense, right? Some research shows potentially damaging effects such as electromagnetic radiation. Other studies have shown no demonstrable effects, so we're getting kind of mixed messages here. But what happens when you multiply exposure? What happens when your child is regularly using something like the talkie toy while also having contact with things like this, the passive eye, which wirelessly connects to a smartphone, allowing a parent to monitor their infant's temperature at all times? They call it the smart pacifier. Or the DD, which encourages iPad use by encasing the iPad in a plush teddy bear-like toy. I mean, what child wouldn't want to cuddle up with that? The wireless octopus watch, which encourages a child to keep and manage their time. Or the Google Smart Crib, allowing parents to monitor their baby's activities in and around their crib. Or how about the wireless diaper? I guess we don't need any kind of explanation for that one. And my favorite, the iPotty. The iPotty. So based on just the possibility that there could be something dangerous going on here, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends better safe than sorry. They recommend minimizing young people's use of this technology. So here's what's interesting. The AAP believes that very young children are not that interested in mobile technology anyway. I'm going to repeat that. They're not that interested in mobile technology. So why push the use of things like Wi-Fi enabled devices to babies and toddlers in the first place? Well, that brings us full circle to the talkie toy. As I just discussed, the toy mail company is pushing the communal and safety aspects of their technology. But do you believe that that is the strongest reason for them creating this product? Do you think that this could have something to do with them making a boatload of money? Each talkie retails for about $60. Let's start there. So depending on how many units they sell, they do stand to make some money, and maybe a lot of it. Co-founder Gauri Nanda is quoted on the technology industry blog TechCrunch as saying, quote, "It's a huge untapped market. 95% of kids under 10 don't have their own phone. And the reason for that is, of course, that screen time is such a struggle and phones aren't really designed with children in mind. And so what we're really building here is the messaging platform that makes sense to children." And more from Nanda. She says, Y Combinator, in fact, I've got that quote right here. Y Combinator is more or less a funding company that helps new technology firms get on their feet. Okay, so she says, Y Combinator enables us to really look at how does this become a billion-dollar business and scale this up. Really look at this as not just a single toy we're building. We want to build this up as an entire communication platform for kids. And when Nanda talks about this becoming a billion-dollar business, do you think that $1 billion will all come from the sale of a massive number of units of talkie toys? Now, a potentially powerful byproduct of all this networked technology is a clear and concise record of all of our behaviors using those technologies. There are indications that just about everything you do online is tracked and saved somewhere. It's happening right now. Meantime, even though we may try to hide our identities, research shows that it only takes just a few data points for them to identify who you are. Oh, it's Joe. It's Joe Champ, the one who lives in Fort Collins, Colorado. Okay, we know who he is now. So there's really great value to these companies having these toddlers and children utilizing these devices and connecting with various relatives and friends. So you get their kind of friend and relative networks down. That's something that they'll be able to make money off of as well. So the case of the talkie really touches on many issues that we're going to discuss in this class. I mean, look what I just did. Utilizing this one recent Wi-Fi enabled networked toy, I can demonstrate things like socializing very young people to want to participate in digital communication, or socializing older people to find a place for very young people to participate in digital communication. Also, how a surprising number of objects that we live with every day are now gateways into a seemingly bottomless, mediated environment. We've heard about potential media effects. We will talk about that this semester. In this case, health effects of technology on young people, or the effects that we see on individuals and family life, psychologically and sociologically. This case introduces something we call media literacy, the idea that we can teach kids to use media in ways that won't harm them. And we've introduced the notion of ethics and legality, especially in and around privacy issues with the uses of this sort of technology. We've been introduced to the notion of the media economy, in which seemingly no area of life is sacred, is it? Even when it comes time to sit down on the potty. All right, I'm going to stop this section right there. I've got one more little introductory part that will be on the next video.